But right now, I'm gonna start the frogging process. What you just saw me taking apart was a raglan tee that I was knitting with a single strand of mohair lace, and I was so close to finishing that top, but then I discovered a few mistakes that I made in that project, which led me to taking apart almost the entire thing. But I didn't take it completely apart. I do have this much left, so now I'm back to the beginning of this project, and I am gonna work up another tee, basically the same tee that I just finished taking apart. But I'm gonna be changing a few things this time around, one of which is the ease. So my first version of this top had 2 inches of positive ease at the bust, but this time around, I'm gonna do 0 ease because I have learned that I prefer that fit. If you're curious to see what this top looked like with 2 inches of positive ease, I did try it on in my previous video before taking it apart today. It goes in 4 inches and then it goes out 1 inch. And I'm debating if that was the right decision. Maybe I would like it better if it flared out a little bit more like this. Ooh, anyway, I'm gonna go for a walk now because it's actually starting to get pretty nice outside. It was very gloomy for most of the day today up until this point, and now it's starting to get a little sunny, so we're gonna go out there and I'm gonna go knit on my walk. I'm gonna go to a park and I'm gonna go walk in the park and I'm gonna bring my knitting with me. I'm gonna bring this project with me. This is also a raglan tee that I started knitting in my previous video, and I'm getting very close to where I would need to section off the sleeves. I only have 2 more rounds to knit of the yoke before I can section off the sleeves, so we're gonna go and do that in the park, and then I'm gonna come back and then maybe I'll section off the sleeves later today. We'll see. I have decided to continue my walk before I complete the 2 rounds that I was hoping to finish in the park because it was getting a little bit too hot just sitting in one spot under the direct sun. I have completed the last 2 rounds of my yoke, and now I'm ready to section off the sleeves, and I have some scrap yarn here that I'm going to use to thread through my sleeve stitches. This entire section right here is 1 sleeve. I feel like a slicked back ponytail looks kind of weird on camera. I slicked it back like this because I put a whole bunch of product in it and now it looks kind of weird, and I wasn't planning on filming myself. But I just discovered a very, very big mistake that I made with this project. So yeah, I want to tell you about it before I go and fix it. So I started noticing that the body of this top was looking a little big. So I decided to count my stitches, which I honestly never do, mostly because I used to always freehand my projects, so it didn't matter how many stitches I had. But now that I'm actually following a pattern, now it matters how many stitches I have. So I figured I should probably count my stitches. And good thing that I did, because I have way too many stitches. Let me check the stitch count that I'm supposed to have. So for a 0 ease 34-inch bust, I'm supposed to, oh! Wait a second. Oh. I do have the right amount of stitches. I have exactly the right amount of stitches. What the heck? Before I, got on camera just now, yeah, like I said, the body was looking a little big, so I counted my stitches, and I had 260 stitches. And for some reason, without even checking the pattern that I wrote up, I assumed that I was supposed to have 130 stitches, so I started freaking out. And I didn't think to check the pattern that I wrote before getting on camera and telling you guys that I made a big mistake. So, okay, all is well. I thought I messed up big time, but turns out everything's fine. That is so funny. I was starting to freak out so much. I thought I would have to take apart the majority of what I did so far, which would be really annoying because this top is worked up on 3mm needles. So yeah, I put a lot of time into this project. Okay, so my update then is this is where I'm at. I sectioned off the sleeves and I have a few rounds complete of the body. So we're doing well. I have a bit of a dilemma. First, let me start by showing you where I'm at with this project. I'm almost done the dark pink section of the top, but I only have this much yarn left. And I'm starting to worry that this won't be enough. I don't think this is gonna be enough. It's such a small amount of yarn. It might be enough to complete the dark pink stripe, but once I finish the dark pink section, the dark pink stripe for this top, I'm still gonna need enough dark pink yarn to finish both of the sleeves. And I fear I may not have enough yarn to do that. I may have enough to complete the stripe, but actually I don't even think I'm gonna have enough to complete the stripe because I still have over 10 rounds to knit in the dark pink yarn, and I don't think this is gonna be enough to do even that. Another thing that I realized is I don't think the stripes are gonna look perfectly even because of the short rows that I did at the beginning. So based on my calculations, each stripe is gonna be 61 rounds thick, and the light pink stripe has 51 rounds right now, but I'm planning on doing a small collar that's gonna have 10 rounds, so in the end it's gonna have 61 rounds. But that's based on the back of the stripes. In the front, I have, I think, 12 rounds less than I do in the back. So in the front, it's gonna look like the light pink stripe is thinner than the dark pink stripe and the blood orange stripe. Yeah. I think it's gonna be fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, but that's just something that I noticed. So it's gonna look even in the back. It's just not gonna look perfectly even in the front. The light pink is gonna look Definitely gonna look thinner. Ooh, but that's fine. It's definitely less significant than my current issue of running out of dark pink yarn. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is buy another ball of the dark pink yarn, but I don't want to have to pay for shipping for just one ball of yarn, so I'm probably gonna have to go in person. But the only stores that carry the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk are yarn stores in Toronto, so it might be a little while until I can get my hands on another ball of this dark pink yarn. We'll see. I have been going to Toronto pretty often lately, so in the meantime, I'm gonna continue working on this top until I run out of the dark pink yarn, and we'll see, maybe I'll have enough. I doubt it, but who knows. There's a chipmunk. Oh, I scared it. Ah, where'd it go? Oh. I have another dilemma, but this dilemma might actually fix my other dilemma of not having enough dark pink yarn. So this dilemma might actually be a good thing. Anyway, I have 2 extra inches around my bust. So I wanted this top to have 0 ease, but instead I ended up with 2 inches of positive ease, and that's because my gauge is off, because I did not make a gauge swatch in the beginning, and I'm paying for it now. Instead of making a proper gauge swatch in the beginning, I just measured another top that I made with 3mm needles, and I thought it would be the same because this top uses 3mm needles, but the gauge is not the same. Which makes sense because they're 2 completely different yarns. This is pure silk, and the top that I measured was 100% merino wool. Totally different. Yeah, it sucks because I'm gonna have to take apart like this much of my project, but I'm not that bummed out about it because I'm gonna take it apart, rework it so that it's actually 0 ease, and when I do that, that's gonna use less yarn than this used. So when I rework this top, I think I'm actually gonna have enough dark pink yarn, which means I won't have to buy another ball of it. It does suck that I'm gonna have to frog a decent chunk of this project, but I'm okay with it because it solves this problem. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I might actually make this top have a little bit of negative ease instead of 0 ease. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I haven't fully decided yet, but I do like a top with slightly negative ease because I like a top that's fitted, and I've realized that if you want a fitted garment, you're gonna have to go a little bit into the negative ease. So I'm just thinking about it. I don't know though, because I feel like a silk yarn will probably look better if it's not super fitted, so I might still keep it 0 ease. But I'm tempted to give it negative ease. I will let you know later what I end up doing. I'm gonna think about it, but right now I'm gonna start the frogging process. It's cold. Ooh. Should I try this on? Now that it's off my needles, I can try this on. It's gonna look really funny over top of this shirt because this shirt is so baggy, but we're gonna try it anyway. I just wanna see. Ooh. Oh, I just realized something. Because my gauge is off, that's also gonna affect the neckline. So that's probably why the neckline was looking so big, because right now the neckline is 16 inches, but it looks pretty big for 16 inches. Yeah, so that means, ooh. I think when I make the collar, I'm gonna do some decrease stitches to make it smaller because, yeah, I wanted this to be like a tight crew neck fit, but this looks so funny over top of the shirt, but I love these colors. They're so fun. Well, now I'm gonna get to work on this project even longer, which is awesome. It actually is pretty awesome because I have enjoyed working on this project. I love knitting with 3mm needles. I don't know, the process is so fun. I just don't love how long it takes to work something up with 3mm needles, but the process is fun, so it kind of cancels out. If I go like this, you can see how much room this top has. So it's definitely spacious in here, and I kind of wanted it to be like, ooh, a little tighter. Ooh, should I do negative ease? I don't know. Both options will look good. And there's only a 2-inch difference between the two, because if I do decide to do negative ease, I'm only to do 2 inches of negative ease, or maybe even 1. Maybe that's a compromise. Maybe I should just do 1 inch of negative ease. And then it's like between the two options. That's enough of that. I should probably figure out how much I want to take apart, because right now I'm just taking stuff apart. I know that I have to take apart everything I did past the sleeve separation, but after that, I don't know how much more I need to take apart, and I should probably figure that out before I frog too much. Ooh. I reached the sleeves. Now I'm going to take out the only thing that's holding these stitches, the lifeline. Might as well take out the other one. And now, this is what the yoke looks like. This is like one of those things, you know, when you stick your head into it for photos. I took a little bit of a break from working on this project as I decided what to do with it, and I have decided to take it completely apart, which may seem a little drastic, but it's because my neckline is over 20 stitches too big. And if I did what I was originally planning, which was doing some decrease stitches in the collar that I'll be doing at the very end when I pick up the stitches and everything, if I did that, I would have to do a lot of decreasing to make it the size that I want it to be. Yeah, I would have to decrease over 20 stitches in the neckline, which just seems like too much. And honestly, I would just prefer to start from the very beginning, because even if I didn't start from the very beginning and I decided to keep the neckline as is, I would still have to take apart everything up to where this stitch marker is right here, this little yellow stitch marker. So I would still have to take all of this apart right here, and then I would just have this much left. So if I'm gonna take apart this much, I might as well take apart everything and just start from the very beginning and make it exactly what I want it to be. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I've already processed that I'm gonna do this and start from the very beginning, but oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna have nothing to show for this video. This video is just mostly me taking apart two probably fine projects. Doesn't this neckline look so small? It almost looks like it won't fit over my head, but it does. I have tried it on. I'm not gonna try it on right now because I'm wearing sunscreen and I don't wanna get sunscreen on this, but yeah, this time around I made the neckline 14.5 inches, which is the neckline measurement of a crew neck neckline. So yeah, I think that'll look good. It's not gonna be a true crew neck neckline though, because I'm only giving it 2.5 inches of depth, like from the back of the neckline to the front. And apparently a crew neck neckline has a depth of 3.5 to 4 inches, but I don't know. I think that sounds like a lot, and I don't want it to be like a very deep crew neck. Anyway, I kind of want it to be like a little bit of a higher neckline, but I don't want it to be too high where it feels like it's choking me. So I feel like 2.5 inches of depth will be good. I also wanted to let you know that I have decided to go with 1 inch of negative ease. So my bust measurement for this top will be 33 inches because my bust measurement is 34 inches. So I feel like that's the right decision because I couldn't decide between 2 inches of negative ease or 0 ease. So I feel like right in between those two options will be good. I also don't think there's going to be a huge difference between 0 ease and 1 inch of negative ease. So before I end this video, I also want to show you the progress that I made on this top because I don't think I've shown you what I've done since the very beginning when I first took apart the first version of this top, but this is what it's looking like right now. I have made a decent amount of progress off camera. I'm almost done the body of it. I'm almost at the waist section of the body. And then once I finish the body, I'll just have to finish the sleeves, which won't take long. And then I'm gonna have to pick up stitches for the collar, which also shouldn't take long. So I am very close to finishing this project, but I haven't spent that much time working on it because I keep going back to this one. And I'm hoping to dedicate an entire day to working on this project, and hopefully I'll be able to finish it then. Because if I just focus on this, I know I'll be able to finish it fairly quickly, but I just keep going back and forth between these two, which is dragging out the process of completing this top. But anyway, I'm gonna go now, but thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in one of my next videos. Bye!